Interestingly, no one ever addressed the fact that two different religions were created, similar with the basics of the ancient scrolls that comprise the Old Testament, and yet, the division was established, not between two races of people, but two brothers. Two brothers, Ishmael and Isaac, whose father was the same, Abraham. How many tears have they and their children caused their father to shed in the eternities? Only a group of angels cast from the heavenly heights and their leader knew of the promise given unto the seed of Abraham. Besides that, we're but one humanity descended from the first man, Adam, and first woman, Eve, and it is time that we all came together in peace, and in love for them, for our Creator, for the holy angels that attend to all life, for the Anointed One. Let us stand together, and reclaim our earth. Restore it to the garden that was originally created to be a place of peace, love and harmony for all creatures great and small. The books of Enoch, the Gospel of Peace, and the Gospel of the Holy 12 contain the true teachings of Abba YEHOWAH and Christ Yeshu. Only in these books will you learn the significance of not defiling one's flesh with the killing and eating of the flesh and blood of animals. How it is a sin to kill any animal for its flesh and its hide, and how their deaths are linked to the discord among mankind and the detriment to our souls for the shedding of their innocent blood. Consider this: why was it so important to repress these books? Because the global business structure that was created based upon animal-derived products would not have been established. Our God commanded all be vegetarian. What business industries would be affected by worldwide vegetarianism? The meat industry, the clothing and textile industry, the shoe industry, the pharmaceutical, medical, and cosmetic industry. 2,000 years we lived their way. Now in this last age, let us do as our Creator designed for us to do, create a world that He would be pleased with. Now, the excerpt from the Gospel of the Holy 12, chapter 6. The childhood and youth of Yeshu, the Christ. He delivereth a lion from the hunters. Now, Joseph and Mary, his parents, went up to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover, and they observed the feast after the manner of their brethren, who abstained from bloodshed and the eating of flesh, and from strong drink. And when he was 12 years old, he went to Jerusalem with them after the custom of the feast. Please note here that both Joseph and Mary ate no flesh nor strong drink, and both abstained from it, as did Christ Yeshu. Excerpt continued. And when they had fulfilled the days, as they returned, the child Yeshu tarried behind in Jerusalem, and his parents knew not of it. But they, supposing him to have been in the company, went a day's journey, and they sought him among their kinsfolk and acquaintance. And when they found him not, turned back to Jerusalem, seeking him. And it came to pass, that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing them, and asking them questions. And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. And when they saw him, they were amazed, and his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father and I have sought thee sorrowing. And he said unto them, How is it that ye sought me? Wist ye not that I must be in my parents' house? And they understood not the saying which he spake unto them. But his mother kept all these sayings in her heart. And a certain prophet seeing him, said unto him, Behold, the love and the wisdom of God are one in thee, therefore in the age to come shalt thou be called Yeshu Maria, for by the Christ shall God save mankind, which now is verily as the bitterness of the sea, but it shall yet be turned into sweetness. But to this generation the bride shall not be manifest, nor yet to the age to come. And he went down with them, and came to Nazareth, and was subject unto them. And he made wheels, and yokes, and tables also, with great skill. And Yeshu increased in stature, and in favor with God and man. And on a certain day the child Yeshu came to a place, where a snare was set for birds, and there were some boys there. And Yeshu said to them, Who hath set this snare for the innocent creatures of God? Behold, in a snare shall they, in like manner, be caught. And he beheld 12 sparrows as it were dead. And he moved his hands over them, and said to them, Go, fly away, and while you live remember me. And they arose, and fled away making a noise. And the Jews, seeing this, were astonished and told it unto the priests. And other wonders did the child, and flowers were seen to spring up beneath his feet, where there had been naught but barren ground before. And his companions stood in awe of him. And in the 18th year of his age, Yeshu was espoused unto Miriam, a virgin of the tribe of Judah, with whom he lived 7 years, and she died, for God took her, that he might go on to the higher things which he had to do, and to suffer for the sons and daughters of men. And Yeshu, after that he had finished his study of the law, went down again into Egypt, that he might learn of the wisdom of the Egyptians, even as Moses did. And going into the desert, he meditated and fasted and prayed, and obtained the power of the holy name, by which he wrought many miracles. And for 7 years he conversed with God face to face, and he learned the language of birds and of beasts, and the healing powers of trees, and of herbs, and of flowers, and the hidden secrets of precious stones, and he learned the motions of the sun and the moon and the stars, and the powers of the letters, and mysteries of the square and the circle, and the transmutation of things, and of forms, and of numbers, and of signs. From thence he returned to Nazareth to visit his parents, and he taught there, and in Jerusalem as an accepted rabbi, even in the temple, none hindering him. And after a time he went into Assyria and India, and into Persia, and into the land of the Chaldeans. And he visited their temples, and conversed with their priests, and their wise men for many years, doing many wonderful works, healing the sick as he passed through their countries. And the beasts of the field had respect unto him, and the birds of the air were in no fear of him, for he made them not afraid. Yea, even the wild beasts of the desert perceived the power of God in him, and did him service, bearing him from place to place. For the spirit of divine humanity filling him, filled all things around him, and made all things subject unto him, and thus shall yet be fulfilled the words of the prophets, the lion shall lie down with the calf, and the leopard with the kid, and the wolf with the lamb, and the bear with the ass, and the with the dove. And a child shall lead them. And none shall hurt or destroy in my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Holy One, even as the waters cover the bed of the sea. And in that day I will make again a covenant with the beasts of the earth and the fowls of the air, and the fishes of the sea, and with all created things. And will break the bow and the sword, and all the instruments of warfare will I banish from the earth, and will make them to lie down in safety, and to live without fear. And I will betroth thee unto me forever in righteousness, and in peace, and in loving kindness, and thou shalt know thy God, and the earth shalt bring forth the corn, the wine, and the oil. And I will say unto them which were not my people, Thou art my people, and they shall say unto me, Thou art our God. And on a certain day as he was passing by a mountainside nigh unto the desert, there met him a lion, and many men were pursuing him with stones and javelins to slay him. But Yeshu rebuked them, saying, Why hunt ye these creatures of God, which are more noble than you? By the cruelties of many generations they were made the enemies of man who should have been his friends. If the power of God is shown in them, so also is shown his long-suffering and compassion. Cease ye to persecute this creature who desireth not to harm you. See ye not how he fleeth from you, and is terrified by your violence? And the lion came and lay at the feet of Yeshu, and showed love to him, and the people were astonished, and said, Lo, this man loveth all creatures, and hath power to command even these beasts from the desert, and they obey him. Commentary. Chapter 6.5. In what way this prediction is to be fulfilled, is not as yet made manifest, whether Yeshu shall yet be manifest, and received by his people as the two-in-one, the all-gentle as well as the all-powerful, or whether he shall assume the feminine form, or whether he shall be manifest with his counterpart. Many false Christs shall come with signs and lying wonders. Chapter 6.10. Josephus mentions a section of the Essenes, or Essenes, who, unlike the great majority of them, lived in honorable marriage, observing their rules and customs in all other matters, such as abstinence from blood sacrifices, flesh-eating, etc. Some consider it most probable, therefore, that at this period Yeshu married, according to the usual custom of the Jews, and in his case especially, that he might have full experience of human life, and thus be a perfect example for all, knowing the joys and sorrows of all, and that it was just before his further travels preparatory to his entrance into the ministry, that he lost by death the wedded partner of his youth. He was in all things like as we are, yet without sin. End of excerpt. Discover the Ancient Word series today and be blessed. In wisdom, peace and love. Reverend Melissa Smith. Peace be with thee.